What's up guys, Xbox Mod 360 here, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing another laser pointer for all of you. So if you're someone who stays tuned with my laser videos, you'll know that my last two laser reviews were more high-end expensive lasers, so in today's video I'm going to be bringing it back down to low-budget affordable lasers. So for today's video I'm going to be opening up and reviewing a purple 405 nanometer Chinese laser pointer. It is a burning laser pointer and it is also water resistant. And it may very well be waterproof too, because the listing does say waterproof. However, when you go into the description it says do not fully submerge underwater. So I am just going to title this one water resistant. So I'm just going to start opening this up for you guys right now, and the bundle I have right here costs me $17. It comes with a holster, a battery, a charger, and the laser pointer itself. And if you guys watch a lot of my videos, you'll know that I usually like buying my Chinese laser pointers from US sellers, but unfortunately for this one I could only find Chinese sellers, so I did have to order it from China. But I'll talk about that a bit more towards the end of the video when I really do my review. So to start, we have the charger and the holster in here, and the laser itself is inside the holster, and I'm guessing the battery is inside the laser. And I'll just start off by showing you the charger first. It's pretty much the same exact charger I get with all of my Chinese laser pointers. It's probably the same exact one. You can see by the little diagram right there where the battery goes in, you just pull back that metal piece and the battery sits right in there. It has a little indicator light at the top to tell you whether or not the battery's charged, and it also has the little wall outlet piece that folds down. So that's pretty much all there is to know about the charger. Moving on to the holster and the battery itself. The holster has a little clip on the back so you can attach it to your belt, and on the front of it it says Ultrafire, which I'm pretty sure is the same brand as the batteries that come with these lasers. We'll find that out in 1 second when I actually take the battery outside of the laser, but here's the laser itself. Like I said, it has a silver housing, which I like a lot. It's made of metal, I'd assume aluminum, and you can see this little piece of paper on the top. I'll show you how to remove that in just a second. It has that orange button on the bottom to activate it, and it also has a lanyard on the bottom to hold it. And personally, I just really like this laser's housing and the sleek silver look it has. I'm going to zoom into that label to show you exactly what it says. One really weird typo that you guys might notice right away is that this label says 470 nm, and that's not true. It's a 405 nm laser, a purple laser. And there's also another lie on this label. It says output power is less than 5 milliwatts, and that's completely false. It probably falls between the 50 to 100 milliwatt range. And that is based on tests that have been done by members of laserpointerforums.com. I unfortunately do not own my own LPM yet, but when I do get one, I'll perform my own test. And that's basically something that most of these Chinese laser manufacturers do. They underrate it to less than 5 milliwatts on the label so that they can ship it internationally, when in reality it is much more powerful than that. Now this doesn't concern me at all because I'm always looking for a higher powered laser at a lower cost, so I have no problem with it. But if you guys really do think you're buying a laser that's less than 5 milliwatts, you have been warned. This laser is greater than 5 milliwatts. So one last thing to mention about that label is that this laser is rated as a class 3B laser product. So moving back to the laser pointer itself, like I mentioned before, there's a little white sticker on the top. Before you start using this laser, I would suggest that you peel that off. You're not supposed to keep it on there. I'm not exactly sure on the purpose of this little white sticker, but my guess would be it's just to protect the very front of the laser during shipping, and you may notice later on in the video that I have that white sticker back on the laser. The only reason for that is because I removed the sticker originally at the end of shooting this video, so I kind of shot it in backwards fashion, so you might see it later on in the video. So I'm now going to move on to showing you where the battery goes inside this laser and showing you guys what that battery actually looks like. Like I said earlier, they ship this laser with the battery inside of it. To access that area, you just unscrew this very bottom part of the laser where that orange button and lanyard are. And it feels a little tough to turn at first because you'll notice there is a little rubber ring at the very bottom of the turning piece, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. But here's the battery right here. It is wrapped in plastic to prevent the laser from accidentally going off during shipping, and to also maybe prevent battery corrosion. So before you can actually use the laser, you will have to remove that plastic from the battery, and I was correct about my assumption. The holster and the battery are both Ultrafire branded. And one little thing I want to critique right here is that the very bottom part of this laser, the part that unscrews, the metal feels very, very thin once you get it off of the laser and you're feeling it, and it almost feels like something you might be able to bend in your hand if you pushed it too hard. I don't really see that being a problem when this bottom part is actually screwed onto the laser, because that gives it some more support, but when it's off the laser by itself, you might just want to be careful that you don't accidentally bend it or dent it. And as you guys can see right here, I did put that battery in the wrong way, and that's why it's not turning on. The battery is supposed to go in the negative side up, so I will fix that right now. The battery itself is just your standard lithium ultrafire 18650 3.7 volt battery used in most laser pointers. So I flipped that battery to negative side up, and I'm just going to screw this back together, and when we test it out it should work just fine. So as you guys can see, it does work. It was just an error on my part. I put the battery in the wrong way. And one thing I do want to mention is that this laser is actually much more purple than it looks on camera. It's more of like a deeper UV purple color, but for whatever reason cameras don't pick up that UV purple color very well, and it appears more of a blue color when you're recording it, but it is a purple color. So on the other end of the laser, there's also another part that unscrews, and it also has another little rubber black stopper piece. Those rubber black stopper pieces that kind of make it a little tougher to unscrew in the beginning, those are the part that help make this laser water resistant. So this top piece that unscrews right here actually contains the lenses of the laser, and that's what focuses the laser. So when I turn it on without that piece on there, you'll notice that it's not focused at all. It's like a flashlight. And the metal on this piece is kind of thin, just like on that bottom piece. I wouldn't really suggest taking off this top piece unless you really have to. To focus the laser, all you do is turn it a little bit. You don't completely unscrew it like I just did. And what you guys just saw was a little close-up of that black rubber stopping piece, and that's supposedly supposed to make this laser waterproof, or at least water resistant, and stop water from coming in through the treads. I'm just going to show you guys right now how well the holster fits that laser. The holster does not really seem like something that's like crazy quality. I mean, it's okay, it does its job just fine, and as you can see, the laser fits in there pretty snug. It's not going to fall out or anything like that. So I want to give you guys a look at that focusing feature now. I showed you earlier in the video how to completely take off that top part of the laser, but to focus it, you just kind of screw it a little bit in each direction, whatever direction you need to focus it in or out. You don't actually completely unscrew it like I did before. And the trick to getting this laser to burn is to just keep on focusing until you have that dot as small as it can be, and make sure you guys are always using your laser safety glasses when using this laser. So now that I've covered all the aspects and features of this laser, I'm now going to show you guys its visibility in different lighting levels like I do in most of my laser videos. So the first one I'm going to start off with is an indoor setting in a well-lighted room. So one of the bad sides to this laser is its color. That purple 405 nanometer color just isn't really that visible to the human eye. I mean, the dot is very visible and you guys can see it's very bright in this room, but the beam itself just really can't be seen. Now I know you guys can catch a slight glimpse of the beam right there, but trust me, it's actually even less visible than that, and the camera's picking it up a lot better than the human eye does. So I can just barely see it when looking directly down the line of sight of the laser indoors, so it's definitely not as visible as some of the other Chinese lasers I've gotten. So I'm now going to move on to an outdoor setting in complete daylight. And this one may be a bit tough to see, so I'm really going to use the zoom feature on my camera, but that purple color in daylight, it's just really hard to spot. I have a much easier time spotting my red laser and my green laser outside in daylight, and the camera probably picks it up a lot better than my eye is picking it up, because I'm really having a hard time finding it, and I know you guys can see it from hundreds of feet away. But like I said earlier, this camera really is doing it justice, and the only way I can see it from hundreds of feet away is if I follow it with a camera, or if I start it at my feet and I just kind of keep my eye on it until it gets that far away. So if you're looking for a laser for daytime purposes, I would suggest going with a different color, or at least getting a 405 nanometer that's more powerful than this one. But anyways, as you guys can tell, I'm using the laser now at nighttime, and this is pretty much the only time the beam is really visible to the human eye, and even then you can only really see it when you're looking down the line of sight. If I was to hold the laser horizontally so that the beam was going sideways, I wouldn't really be able to see that beam very well, so this is definitely not the best laser if you're looking for a laser where you can see the beam. I mostly just got it because I wanted a 405 nanometer laser in my collection. So now that I've showed you this laser in different lighting levels, I wanted to give it a little test of that water resistance. Like I said, they say waterproof, but in the listing they also say do not fully submerge it in water, so I'm not testing the waterproofness, I'm just testing water resistance. So to do this, I'm just going to turn my faucet on very low, and I'm going to kind of shower the laser in water to simulate something like rain. And then afterwards we're just going to try to turn the laser back on to see if any water has gotten in and destroyed anything, or if it's actually water resistant. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold the laser under this water for a couple of seconds and try to spread out the water as evenly as possible. So now that we've held it under the water for a couple of seconds, we're just going to test it out to see if it still works, and yep, it definitely still works. So we can call this laser water resistant. I'm not going to call it waterproof though, because they said not to fully submerge it, but we definitely can call it water resistant. So I'm now going to move on to the burn test for this this laser, and because it is a focusable laser, I will be able to do some burning with it. Now, in most of my laser videos where I'm reviewing a very high-powered laser pointer, I'll burn a variety of materials, but because this is a kind of lower quality Chinese laser pointer, I'm just going to be doing matches for this one. But I'm first going to show you guys a really good way to calibrate the focus and kind of get it to the point where it's ready to burn. So you're going to use your black charger, and it's made out of a plastic that's pretty easy to burn. You're going to aim your laser directly at it, and you're just going to turn the focus until you have that dot as small as it can be. And when you guys have focused it perfectly, just like mine, you guys will see a little bit of smoke coming off the charger, and you'll actually be etching little lines into the charger, and I'm going to show you guys right now by zooming in. Now make sure you're wearing your safety glasses so that you don't hurt your eyes by looking directly at that glowing dot, and don't worry, you guys aren't going to destroy your charger. The only way you'd do any real damage is if you aimed it at one spot, burning one spot for like 2 minutes or so to the point where you burned right through that plastic. All you guys are doing here is just etching little tiny lines that aren't going to damage the charger at all, and you could even write your name or something like that if you wanted to. It's just a really good way to practice and to get that laser dot focused in perfectly so when you move on to the matches you can burn right away. So as you guys will see, I'm moving over to the matches now, and I'm actually having a lot of success. Where this laser lacks in visibility, it makes up for in burning. This is actually my best Chinese laser pointer for burning. It burns much better than my green laser 303 and my red laser 303, and those are both focusable as well, and those weren't any black top matches, those were red top matches. So I'm going to use that to kind of intro into the reviewing aspect of this laser. I was very surprised and very pleased with its burning capabilities. I mean, I knew it was adjustable and that it could burn, but it does burn much better than I had imagined. I was able to light all 4 red top matches in under 10 seconds. Besides that, some other things I like are the housing. I really like that chrome color, and it has a really futuristic look to it. I don't know, I think it looks a lot better than the other cheap Chinese lasers like the Laser 303. The water resistance worked great, and the holster and the lanyard both work fine. I don't have any issues with those either. Now, some things I do have issues with, I really wish that button on the bottom was black instead of orange. It's kind of an eyesore. They also need to fix that label on there that says 470 nanometers. In reality, it's 405 nanometers. I would like some of the metal on the housing to be a little bit thicker, and I would also like to find more US sellers. I mean, you can't really argue with the price of $16 or $17, but the shipping time waiting for the laser to actually arrive from China is kind of annoying. With the lasers I buy from the US, they usually only take about a week to come in, but this one took a little over 2 weeks, and I know that's not horrible, but it's just somewhere where there could be a little room for improvement. And if you're looking for a laser with high visibility, one where you can really see the beam, this definitely isn't the laser for you. This one does, however, have very good burning results. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this laser. I did like it a lot, I like the housing a lot, and it definitely is my new best Chinese burning laser pointer. Definitely not my most visible, that one is still a green one, but it does burn best out of all the cheap Chinese laser pointers I have. So I'll put the links down in the description below on where you guys can buy this laser pointer. If you found this video helpful in any way, hit that like button below, and if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button for more amazing laser videos just like this one. And as always guys, thank you for watching from Xbox Mod 360.